How's it going, guys? It's Mr. Lo4f, and today I'm going to go and do this mission, Invasion. It's like the last one of these secret missions it seems to unlock after suspicious activity and classified. I was going to go and take the Tayga. Well, I am going to take the Tayga. I didn't realise though, even with just the big crane on, you can't even get a trailer on the back. I knew with like the, I'm not even sure if you can get the crane and the sideboard on the Tayga. Actually thinking about it, I definitely knew it wasn't going to let you have all three anyway. So of course, send in the horse. If all else, well, I was going to say if all else fails, even if it doesn't, send in the horse. But yeah, the reason I already know, I scouted the area. I went and looked at the mission just so I knew what to bring, because I was going to make the footage one way or the other. It was going to be me driving there and then having to recover, and I'd cut one journey out. So yeah, I went and investigated. I knew what stuff I needed. So it's kind of over here, near to the factory where you find the pay star. That was the last watchtower I found. There's a little bridge there. You're going to have to do a jump. And again, it's where that big radio tower is. It's in, like, the top right corner, really, near the gateway that is sort of least used, or certainly is for me. So, yeah, like I said, this is the setup I'm going to bring. A large crane on my Tayga. I've got to say, though, the Tayga, the more I use it these days, it feels terrible, really, compared to what it used to. I mean, it's still a decent-ish truck, don't get me wrong. Well, considering they seem to have all kind of been hit by this weird gearbox nerf, like there's just no power half the time. Yeah, it still sits very highly on the list, but again, it just does not feel like the old classic Tayga. Like I said, really, this is my normal playthrough. I don't really put many, if any, mods at all on this playthrough because loads of people told me in the comments through the months. Admittedly, it's died right down. I've not really heard anything recently, but yeah, people using mods, it's crashed their gameplay. So like I said, I've got my second playthrough for mods. The electric pack of trucks, the Tayga in that feels great. Feels like the old classic Tayga. It doesn't feel OP or anything like that at all. It just feels like the old Tayga. Just a nice amount of torque, and it motors along at about the same speed. But yeah, this Tayga, it's again, it's just not quite the same. And I mean, I was driving it around before this without the crane on its back. I appreciate that adds a fair amount of weight. And then yeah, like I said, of course, I'm bringing the horse with me. When don't I? But I actually, there's good reason for it. There's always good reason for it. But yeah, I mean, it's a good job he was able to bring a trailer. Otherwise, well, I mean, I could have just switched to a different vehicle. I could have brought the Dolphin. I knew though, like I said, where you actually get to the house, there's like a bridge that's half a bridge, so you have to do a jump. And the Dolphin would definitely kind of catch its front bumper. I mean, to be fair, this does, and this is actually pretty good for like not catching its bumper, generally speaking. So, yeah, most things probably would. But I was just saying, I used Dolphin and Lo4f yesterday, I think it was, and yeah, mixing it up a bit. But I also wanted something, particularly with the whole gearbox nerf feeling situation. It's I don't want to go and pick a truck that's going to make me sit here crawling at 2 miles an hour. So yeah, fly down like over North Bridge, over that kind of big bridge where you got the nice views as you head into the factory, swerve off to the left, and then we're just sort of keep following it, basically heading towards the first, not the first, sorry, the last watchtower I got on my like exploration video. I mean, look at it with the Tayga, it just ran out of guts there, it just isn't the same. Yeah, as well, while we're cruising along quickly, apologies again with the live stream, it's just the internet's gone again for the night, like, yeah, there's just nothing I could do. I think, though, and I'm hoping it is actually done and fixed now, because it seemed pretty regular that it was going off each night, but I can't remember if it was like Thursday or Friday, but I was editing a video or whatever in my, I had a YouTube video on the go, and it kept doing, like, what's it called, buffering or whatever, where it kept like stopping and there's a little loading wheel and then it'd carry on again. My internet never does that. It's either like on or off. It's not patchy like that. So maybe there was something wrong with it and they've been fixing it. And again, in the little village I live in, they'll only be me awake in the middle of the night. They'll probably be looking at it like, well, someone's still connected, but I'll have to pull the plug on them. So yeah, every now and then, every couple of months, it does seem to go out at night. So for like a few hours, it was, I don't know what time it went off yesterday when I was supposed to be doing the live stream. Tonight, it was around 1 in the morning it went, and then it was back at about 5 in the morning, pretty much slap bang in the middle of when I want to be live streaming. At least it's coming back though, so I can load these videos up. Anyway, this was my drive here. I'm just going to show you. This is now cut into where I originally went to find out what I've got to do, hence why I got the sideboard. This is the jump, and I mean, look at the goddamn horse. I stubbed my front bumper. If I didn't have the loaf there nice and hoovered in, like a dog sniffing me rear end or something, yeah, my back end of the Tayga would have just, like, fell down and fell off those rocks, and it would have failed, so the loaf saved me bacon as usual. So I went to have a go with the loaf. Oh, you beast. He nearly did it, but he's a goddamn horse. He knows what he's doing. He flung out a winch. However, I wasn't too happy with that. I was like, I believe in you, loaf. You can do it. Yes. What an absolute horse of a vehicle. He's show jumping. I mean, he felt it. Felt that one in his loins, but see, he's got repair kits. That was about the 4th odd jump. He takes quite a hit when he kind of hits the back of the Tayga as well, but yeah, like I said, he knows what he's doing. He knows what he needs. So, now this is back to like the run we were just watching me kind of drive there, where I've got the crane and everything. And this is why I knew to bring the loaf, because then again, the Tayga stubs its front bumper. I would have definitely fell backwards down that little sort of hill there. And yeah, and then once the loaf keeps it all taut and everything, I can drive forward, and then the loaf makes the jump. And everyone's happy. You can't go wrong with a loaf. That is what I've learned. So, when you select the mission, it says, finally, I discovered what causes the anomalies in the area. The huge funnel sink, as locals call it, is in fact an alien landing spot. Government agents have collected the remains of the ship in crates, but they never took them anywhere. You have to be the first to get the crates to me. 5,000 reward. Blah, blah, blah. So, we look on the map, it's not too far away, fortunately. It's only over here, there's like a big pond. Again, that's what they must have called it, what they like, funnel sink. That was a bit of a weird name, but whatever. So, yeah, there's not really anywhere to get off this little kind of rock island we've just jumped onto. There's sort of a slope of rocks that makes it pretty easy, which is the way I've drawn. So, yeah, we'll head over there, get me loaf, and we're off. This bit here, really, kind of makes the most sense. Nearly got beached on there, but we're all good. Look at the goddamn horse go. He knows what he's doing. So you might think, oh, he's tipped now, but on his way past, he's like, he's testing soil samples, so he knows what kind of terrain he's driving on. See, he's back. I didn't have to do anything. He's busy doing loaf things. Yeah, again, it's not really too much of a bad drive. I still wish this Tayga was. It should just be getting yammed in high by now. I don't know what yammed particularly means, but it felt right. Yeah, and we should be motoring along. This is just... it's not how it was. So, anyway, we're pretty much there. And, yeah, to be fair, it's a pretty deep sinkhole. It's definitely what she said. It's a bit awkward, but I had some ideas. One thing, by the way, I would like this game to be able to do is, you know, you can hoover in your winch. If you could release winch, because there's a lot of situations where, you know, like, I would like to repel my loaf into things, down things, all kinds of, like, Mission Impossible Splinter Cell stuff going on. But yeah, until that day comes, we'll have to work with what we've got. So, here we are, you can see there's 2 lots of cargo. It's classing it as, what is it, like vehicle spare parts. Apparently it's bits of a spaceship. So, get my Tayga in place. Oh, it's probably like when I've been jumping again. Obviously I did it twice. Well, I did it a lot more twice. I was loving it with the old loaf. And he never not made it. I just thought I won't leave like 5 or 6 jumps of me flying around with the jumping with the loaf. As fun as it was for me. So anyway, get my trailer all sorted so I can hopefully load the cargo on nice and easily. However, sadly, I already know this from previous experience. The Tayga crane won't have an unlimited reach, so I'm going to have to send in the loaf. And I'm eyeballing the situation, trying to work out. I already know what I'm going to do. And yeah, I could just drive down this hill, but you see, it's alien spaceship parts, and that guy was talking about the government have been here. There's probably tripwires, things like that, so I ain't risking it. Loaf, he knows what he's doing. Stealth spaceship recovery. mean, what a goddamn horse of a vehicle. He's in. No one knows. He's found his spaceship parts. Having a little look around. I mean, I had a choice. There's a few ways you can do this, but it's pretty steep. I could have gone in with the Tayga, but I wasn't entirely convinced the Tayga would be able to get back out of there. I did find a way later on that the Tayga would be able to get in and out. I'll show you that later, but yeah. This was, well, I mean, just for my own general amusement. Lo4f, he's recovered cargo before. He's going in. I see you. Oh, don't you dare try and submerge on me, Mr. Spaceship Parts. My Lo4f's wise to them games. He's going in. Just looking what I've got around me. A few winch points on the go, so we're looking good. I've got the advanced winch on for this. It's obviously potentially a little bit risky because if I did tip the Lo4f, it can't just like winch to anything when he's tipped. But the advanced winch on the scouts or the Lo4f, I don't really use any of the scouts, but yeah, I believe it is the longest in the game. I had a bit of footage from the other week. What the hell was it? There was something anyway that I couldn't reach with the one of the trucks that I could reach with the Lo4f. So it's one bit of spaceship part. I'll cut little bits and bobs out. I'm not going to leave this too long, but yeah, you can generally see, like, we sent him in, hook that spaceship part, use these little tree winch points to move my way around, and then this second one is in there pretty good. It's kind of near on the other side. It's already submerged. I don't know why that one was like floating when I got there and then decided to try and hide underwater. I mean, it's a submarine Lo4f. Should have known. I thought I'd seen a winch point over there earlier, so I just spanned my nose around, get the back end of me Lo4f facing that way. I was like, I'm sure he'll reach it. He's of course a goddamn professional. See, he's got his snorkel. Ain't no water damage on this one. I mean, I could have just drove round, but where would the fun in that be? Yeah, as you can see, it is pretty steep on all sides, but you see, like, when my Lo4f's turned, I'll sort of explain. It's sort of to the right of the screen now. It's still a bit steep, and again, I'll show you later with the Tayga. It's, but yeah, there is a way like that's a little bit easier. For the record, the Lo4f can drive up and down just about any hill in this little section, so he's yeah, he's all good. Submarine Lo4f, also a rock climbing Lo4f. Well, if you remember from a video a while ago, if you've seen it in Quarry, my Lo4f pulled another Lo4f up a vertical slope. That is a sign of a true professional. So yeah, a little bit of faffing around with this, not too bad to be honest. Kind of worked pretty much as I planned. That was a little glitch, not an edit. Been a bit more cautious because I've not got my autonomous winch. The other reason as well why I didn't really bring the Tayga down here, well, I was kind of doing this for a bit of fun. The point was, like, I wanted to be able to reach these cargo while the Tayga's still at the top, and I know I could do this with a Lo4f. I just felt like the challenge while I was at it. Yeah, the other reason obviously is because I couldn't bring a trailer with the Tayga. It's a scout trailer I've got, so even if I drove down there, I'd have to take the Lo4f down as well to pack the trailer or whatever, because there's no way the cargo would stay on. The crane isn't long enough that I could grab the cargo and load it. Look, it can't even reach down now. It's a bit. This game doesn't do well with like verticality when it comes to reaching things. Similar situation to where my winch was long enough to reach the Azov that I drove into that really deep water the other day, but it was just like, yeah, because it's also further down as well. It's just acts like a bit of a pain in the arse. So basically, I needed. Well, I was trying to move these spaceship parts, vehicle spare parts, whatever, a little bit closer. Part of the plan I was like tempted to do was just try and push the spaceship parts up the hill anyway, which I reckon I could have done. But then now the crane wasn't letting me reach them, even though that green circle, like, they were well within the green circle. Yeah, it was just more of a, now I wanted to like beat the game in that way. It's like, nope, these are coming up with a crane, and my crane is not coming down to get them. That's a situation game. So Lo4f gives a little nudge, pushing it closer, is like, that'll do. We'll see. Can he make it? Thankfully, this time, by the skin of its teeth, it actually offered it me. And I'll be honest, I think it was close enough there, because it was pretty much directly below the crane. However, it was an awkward sod for offering me a winch point for this cargo. One thing I do wish that certainly would have made this less enjoyable messing around with the Lo4f for me, but quicker and generally would be quite cool, if you could put a winch point to these cargo. Obviously it'll only allow you to grab them via a crane. When you choose like the winch, it just never offers this as an option. Otherwise me Lo4f could be just dragging them out of there without trying to feed them to this crane. Couldn't quite reach the trailer. It's that oh no game. We don't play them games. Game doesn't get to beat me like that. Give it a little swing. Yes, it counts. 1-0 game. As you can see, I'm kind of backed over the edge a little bit. I still made sure my crane legs were kind of like hooked into the dirt anyway, so I wasn't really going anywhere. And then yeah, again, I can't reach this bloody one, so send in the horse, move it a bit closer. Whew. Get your Hari going for a minute there, but again, he is no amateur. And to be honest, at this point, I've been doing bits and bobs of editing. I've been slowly running out of winch points, because for various reasons, partly my fault, I was just like, not really paying attention and reversed over the tree logs or whatever and broke them and stuff. Yeah, so I've been running out of winch points. If the original winch points right behind me now were still there, this would have been a lot easier, but again, I was up for the challenge. There's a little tree. See the tree sticking out of the cargo box? I believe that is what it's hooked on. And annoyingly, normally the it offers you those little trees as winch points, and then just instantly pull out of the ground. And then that used to drive me mad that it even offer it you as a winch point. Now it doesn't offer it me as a winch point, and I could really do with it to just rip it out of the ground so I can shove this cargo a little bit easier. However, I was curious to know for myself, because the crane can't reach this cargo, but then I was wondering, could my Lo4f reach the Tayga? And the answer is yes. Which, to be honest, it didn't really help a hell of a lot. But I'm just throwing it out there, like, that's... Your winch distances are good from there, so you can have a vehicle at the top, vehicle at the bottom, obviously mix and match as you please, but it's doable in that situation, so I just thought I'd leave that bit of footage in. Again, tried with the crane, it wasn't letting me. I don't know why, because I'm pretty certain that cargo was now easily as close as the first one was. So again, we'll nudge it a bit closer. Just spoon feed the Tayga. It's a very sad moment. To be honest though, it's kind of a bit iffy. If anyone remembers the Cousin Cletus mission on Island Lake. No, not Island Lake, Drummond Island. That was a bit of a notorious one for where like you couldn't reach it unless you were half hanging off the cliff and all the rest of it. They obviously did the mission, didn't really test it, and realised that their cranes weren't really reaching it. You see, with that, it basically 99% of the time it told me I couldn't reach it, but when I just moved the crane left and right a bit, there was a half a second where it'd flash up a winch point. I just cut the rest out there. I didn't bother trying to fling it on the trailer, I just dropped it next to it. I probably could have. I've got the confidence that if I'd sat there long enough I could have swung the cargo backwards and forwards and got it on the trailer, but I was already happy with my first one. So yeah, with the Lo4f, I was just about to crane him out, then I was like, well, I'll see. I don't know why, oh yeah, it's probably because the crane's above me while the camera was going a bit weird. And as you can see, he's all good. Jumping his way along to the right. And I could get out at this point, but like I said, there could well be some type of government tripwire sitting around the perimeter trying to catch any alien spaceship thieves. Look at the Lo4f. He's smarter than the average Lo4f. Smarter than the average bear. Smarter than the average government. So he's going out the old school way. And just cut that. I just moved forward a little bit with the Tayga. This is one meaty little horse. Meat Lo4f. And I don't think it would have like seesawed me over or anything like that. It was just that it was easier to reach the Lo4f than the cargo, so I know I could afford to move the Tayga forward a little bit. And there he is. Mission impossible complete. He's on his way. And sadly, I kind of left this little bit in to show you as well. This is how bad. This is a large crane. And I'm moving around. I am now currently trying to lift the crane in the air, and it's not lifting. So normally, if you start retracting the crane, like making it shorter, it helps. But these days, this is what it's doing it to me yesterday or the day before. It's fully retracted. I can't lift it. So, I've had this happen before, so there's a little kind of trick. It's hard to explain and show, but if you kind of give it a little flick like that, you just kind of have to wiggle the Lo4f a bit. You kind of bounce on the cable, and it just goes weightless long enough that it then starts lifting you up. It's a bit weird, but that's my little way around it. And we're, yeah, we're all good. We're out of there. Send in the beast, pack the old cargo. And like I said, a lot of people probably don't even know about these missions. I don't know what that was. It must have been a little glitch or something. It's a bit weird. Yeah, pack that. I'll skip to the rest. Just me chucking this on. That'll do. It counts. Job's a good one. Alien parts. Here we go. I mean, look at the gutlessness of it. Again, I could have edited just that bit out and got to like here, but look at it. This definitely isn't like it used to be. Yeah, again, you got to take them back to this guy. So obviously, I had a few ways for like how you could get the cargo back up there. In the end, well, I'm gonna go for the, shall we say, the most obvious way. But I have options, because I've got a Lo4f, you see. And I'm entirely convinced that, was I to try, the Lo4f could get back to that delivery spot on his own, without even using that bridge to jump. That is what a goddamn horse of a vehicle he is. This mad conspiracy guy. Although, let's be honest, they say mad conspiracy guys, but look how many conspiracies actually came true. Slow progress climbing. Again, I know the crane is having a little bit. Maybe the crane legs are digging in here and there, but it's definitely, it's just not. I don't know, I won't be using the Tayga as much lately, which is sad. I mean, again, it kind of doesn't leave a lot else. I'm definitely looking forward to the, is it the Zix or something in the next phase? It's basically the D535 from SnowRunner, which I've said it many times before. I absolutely love that truck. It was pretty much joint my favourite truck with the E7 whatever it was. I kind of, at the time, it was like I slightly preferred the E1 because it was like just even bigger and it cost 5 points, but yeah, it cost 5 points to have it on the map, like 5 stars. And the D series trucks cost 4 stars, but they were both pretty much as good as each other, so if I could afford it, I'd probably take the E1 E series of trucks. But yeah, the D535 and the D537, I think they were pretty much identical, to be fair, but yeah, they were very solid trucks, and it's sounding good from what I've heard. I mean, again, this was just the Tayga trying to climb up that hill. It was shocking. I've only got a Lo4f and a couple of cargo. It's not anything crazy. This thing used to pull road trains for fun. Yeah, it's sounding good at the minute though, so as long as the devs don't like nerf that truck before they release it to us, then it's sounding like a very solid truck. It's a bit close there. A bit closer than I'd like. Thankfully, somehow the cargo didn't fly. Oh, that's probably because the Lo4f strapped them on. Probably go on a roller coaster and those things wouldn't come off. I just cut that out. I just quickly drew some blue dots like going to the bridge because all these trees are in the way. And yeah, I wanted to make sure I was nicely lined up for it. I mean, look at the Tayga's getting deleted on its way down. Just on that one little run. Go for the jump. Again, Lo4f kind of locks in behind me, keeps me all rigid. That's what she said. And then, yeah, we're there. We made it. Cargo came with us and it made it. It's good to know. That's what that, like, first jump when I had the loaf and the trailer was like just to check that the trailer doesn't flop side to side, because it wouldn't be the end of the world. If I made it over and the cargo fell off, even if it fell down that little rock bit, I could still recover it. Right. But now, I was honestly considering, like, well, hang on a minute, if these are spaceship parts, do I really want to give them to this guy? But I did, reluctantly. And then it is a good job I did, because it said the crates hold nothing but junk. Looks like one of the locals has illegally dumped trash there. Although I'm sure the government played a role in it. Probably. We've done a good deed anyway. Here's your reward. 5 grand and about 500 XP. Like, who the hell's got enough money to give you 5 grand for your random alien spaceship hunting activities? I think this guy's probably the government. Like CIA or something. Yeah, this was my other option. Right, imagine I still had the cargo. I already had this in mind. Like, I had this in mind before I even got here to, like, start the mission. But I just wanted to, you know, explore my options. I did it the traditional way, because let's be honest, ramping off that bridge and landing on the other side is pretty cool as well. But yeah, see, like I said, he's a Swiss Army loaf. You can do all sorts of things. And at the minute, he fancies being a rock climber.
Jesus Christ, it's Jason Loaf.
You see, you can't stop Jason Loaf when he's on a mission. And yeah, keep an eye on the trailer. Like, the cargo definitely would have stayed on. That is, oh my god, I didn't even realise it glitched there. But the trailer didn't flop side to side at all. It's all good. So there you go. That is a way up there. And then this, I was just messing around kind of at the end of the video, to be honest. But there's another way down into the hole. Always got to know how to get in that hole. Yeah, there was a tree here. Wedge the loaf in the trailer. That's where it sort of comes in handy. I can kind of lock it in position like that, so the loaf is hooked good. Get the crane kind of winch to the loaf. I was already kind of propped, hanging the back end of my Tayga over a little bit. And then yeah, like this is where basically you can feed the cable of the crane out, so I can actually kind of rappel down. I mean, again, the cable, when you do that situation, you can make the cable massive. When I was flying trailers a few months ago, I got the cable like half the length of the runway on White Valley. So I don't know why it can't reach from the top of the, like this thing, yeah, down to the bottom anyway. This over here, like I said, well, it was a bit close, good job that tree was there. This is like the flattest, like, smoothest ramp area, really, that you could head into this sinkhole thing with. Look, I genuinely, the whole time I'm holding the throttle, still flooring it flat out. Not only did it run out of power, it started rolling backwards. Imagine if I had a medium log trailer behind me. I would have had no choice. That would have just jackknifed and spilt, pretty much guaranteed. Yeah, and it nearly did it again. I genuinely did not let go of the throttle that entire time. But yeah, that is another way, like, in and out of the out of that sinkhole again. Well, I suppose if you just had the little crane on the Tayga, if you're gonna go drove the actual Tayga, and then you could get your trailer, and yeah, you'd be good to go. But you see, in mere seconds he was hooked, well enough to lower a Tayga. But when he wants to get out of there, he's on his way. Yeah, that's about it for today, though. I hope you've enjoyed. I hope that helps. Thanks for watching. Get yourself a loaf, of course, because he's goddamn professional. And I'll be back soon.